So we have assembled our squad and done the best as we can, and we have now found ourselves in the third division of Sweden, ready to start the season, ready to play the opening game against a team who are one of the very few teams that are actually expected to finish below us. We've got an 11, we've got 4 players on the bench, and one who's away on international. So we're a little bit light, but hopefully we can get off to a good start. And just like I mentioned on the media prediction, we are expected to finish essentially third bottom. Hammarby are a B team, and they're not able to be promoted from this level, so they can't finish any higher. Even if they finish in whatever position they finish, basically it's a null position. The next team would just get whatever they finish. So if they finish sixth, the team who finished seventh would essentially finish sixth. We are expected, if you take them out of it, then to finish in the bottom 3, which based on this league is relegation. It's the bottom 3 get relegated automatically, and the bottom 4th, 13th position goes into a relegation playoff, which isn't great, so we definitely don't want to be doing that. Top gets promoted to the second tier automatically, and then second goes into a playoff. So you have to do quite well to get out of this league. It's a 16-team league, 30 games, everyone plays each other twice, and we are playing one of the few teams who are actually expected to finish below us, Valu BS. So we're going to go into this one, and this is the team we're going with. We've got a debut for our new 19-year-old Icelandic keeper, Kjartsen. We've got Shaq making his debut, signed in the summer, 22-year-old Danish right-back. We've got Hilmarsson, 21-year-old Icelandic centre-back, also making his debut. Abayomi, who was here last season, we know of him. Damsgaard making his debut, 20-year-old left back from Denmark as well. Tornberg and Viggerback, we know Tornberg, normally a centre-back, but we're having to play him in midfield today just because we don't have a lot of options. Worrell, we know of on the right. Hansen, we know of. Precious Johnson, we know of. And then another one making his debut, Emil Chambo, 20-year-old Cameroonian striker. On the bench, we've got our keeper from last season, who's now a backup. We've got Stengard, who is a 19-year-old Danish winger. We have Aberg and Rosberg, the youngster who's still here. And then Berman is away on internationals. Obviously, he was here from last season. So we are a little bit light. The rules in this league are a little bit stricter. You have to have 9 players in the matchday squad, which is the 11 plus 7 on the bench. So out of the 18 players, half of them have to be homegrown in Sweden. We currently have 7. We haven't signed anyone who's homegrown at Nation besides Rosberg, but that was the end of last season. So realistically, with Berman in the squad, that's 8. We can sign one more non-homegrown player, basically. And we can sign another player, but they have to be homegrown. So we either have to leave... I mean, the other thing is we could sign 2 non-homegrown players, but then we'd have to leave one out the squad. So realistically, we can sign one more non-homegrown player before they wouldn't be in the squad. So realistically, it's either a 1 in, 1 out situation, or we can get 1 in and then a Swedish player, essentially. So hopefully we can get off a good start. In pre-season... I don't even know what happened there. I think I put a couple bids in for players. I don't even know what happened. I must not have clicked continue. We won't look at that because that's not important for now. I think that was a bit of a bug. I put a couple bids in for players. I don't know why they've only just come up now. So hopefully we'll be able to pull a couple of them off. But we'll talk about them if and when we do. But yeah, away from home, without a full bench, let's just do what we can. Hey, let's just do what we can. We've got a lot of new players. I'm assuming it's probably we're a better side than we were last season. No away day today because it is the first 2 games of the season. What I don't want to do is do an away day every single episode. I think this should be not special. It won't be just now and then. But I don't want it to be every episode. Otherwise, then it becomes a little bit dull. I'm just going to be doing them maybe every other episode or just whenever there's a team we haven't done and I feel like doing one. So it's not going to be every single episode there's an away day, but we'll try and do them fairly regularly. Like I said, unless there's a special reason, like today it's the first 2 games of the season, let's just focus on that. But then once the season's underway and the matches are kind of just progressing through the season, then we'll do more away days. But good news is 20 minutes in, we haven't conceded, so at least we're not going to get absolutely whacked. Anything but relegation this season will absolutely be a successful season. Now, obviously, the other thing is we only played clearly the guys who are doing our our preparation aren't on the ball. That's a great ball from Chambo. And Precious Johnson, who is top scorer in the division below, continues his goal scoring record. He was already at the club. I can't even take credit for him, but he's already scoring. Chambo with an assist on the debut. Love to see that. Precious Johnson makes it BAIK 1, Falu 0, which is great to see. But yeah, like I say, what was I saying? I can't remember. Anything but relegation will be definitely a good season for us. At the end of this season, if we are making progress and we look like we could kick on next season, close the gap and become a promotion contender, then there's every chance we stay and we sign on for another year, provided things go well. If we barely stay up or actually get relegated, we've got to go, right? We can't be hanging around at clubs making backwards progress. We need to be making forwards progress. That's not always the case to say we would always leave a club if we got relegated. But in this case, with it being so far down the divisions, we definitely don't want to be spending too much time here. But we don't have to worry about that just yet, because if we keep making progress here, we have no reason to leave. So a good start to the half, being quite even, but we've taken our chance, which is ultimately what I like to see. The lads aren't fully fit as well, because that's what I was going to say. The people who were clearly doing the setup for us, the assistant manager, coach, whatever it is, not put a lot of thought into it. It put 2 pre-season games in against teams in the 4th division. We won 1, drew 1, but the lads just aren't match fit. So two games in, we are still chasing. With only 2 pre-season friendlies, we are very much chasing a what's it called? We are chasing match fitness as well. Obviously, there's a lot of debutants as well, especially in the back line, so that's going to take a little bit to get used to it. But the forward players in the midfield should be okay, and I think that should have been 2-0. That was a good bit of work there from the players there, but unfortunately we just couldn't get the effort off. And Thornberg weirdly not winning the ball considering he's a centre back. But looks like the back line, or at least the 2 centre backs, have had a decent start. Now it does make me wonder with Thornberg, because he's meant to be better than Hilmarson, but he's having a pretty good game, and he's obviously he's a little bit younger with some more potential. But at the minute, not seeing too much else from us going forward. And it is a corner for them, and it's fell to the edge of the box. You hate to see it. Back in, and it's knocked in. I wasn't sure if it was maybe offside. It looked like maybe Kjartansson saved it, and then it came back out to their player. Either way, it's ended up in the back of our net. They have equaled the game up, and this second half has definitely not seemed as positive as the first. We are level with a team that we are essentially meant to be just slightly better than. Not ideal. I would have liked to have taken 3 points from the first game just to give us that little bit of breathing room going into the games. The last thing we want to do is lose this game. That's going to really just put us straight away on the back foot, and we're already chasing points to get out of the bottom 3, whereas a point is not the best result, but it's not the end of the world. But they have whipped one in, and that's terrible defending from number 21. It's Shaq on the debut. He was nowhere near him. He's on a yellow card. He's having a really, really bad game. And now it is 2-1 to the other side. And all of a sudden, it's looking tough again. Now, obviously, once everyone, learns the system, gets match fit, I'm expecting better performances. But it is disappointing to see us be so poor so early. We're going to bring Stengard on for his debut. He's going to come on the right. We'll also bring Rosberg on for Chambo as well, the youngster. See if he can't influence the game a little bit. But we do have a free kick. Wiggerback standing over the free kick, decides to go for glory. I think it was actually a save from the goalkeeper. But very disappointing that he's not managed to get a better effort there. We haven't really created all that much. It's been probably a game in their favour, to be fair. And unfortunately, it looks like it is going to be an opening day defeat. It is away from home, which maybe will be better. We historically have been better at home than away. And maybe we should have played the away system. But obviously, as we're just getting started with the season, don't want to be going defensive. We want to be going for it and trying to pick up 3 points. But unfortunately, it looks like we're going to be picking up a 0. As Forsland, has another effort. Unfortunately for them, goes over the bar. But yeah, not a very good start. I thought it was a good first half. Second half, they were definitely the better side. And they just happened to score 2 goals. So unfortunately, it is an opening day defeat. We are not technically bottom of the league, which is good, but not very good. Not a very good start at all, specifically because it's a team that we're expected to finish above in the media predictions. So We'll have to improve quick if we want to do anything in this league, if we want to stay up. But we weren't miles away. We weren't getting beaten 3-4-0, so we're not miles away from a good side. But we definitely need to make some improvements. The other thing is, if we can get some better players in, that will obviously help things out massively as well. But hopefully getting everyone match fit. Hopefully once the familiarity with some of the back line comes in, the defending can be a little bit better. Shaq, not a very good debut. I'm hoping he'll get better. One thing I have done as well is, for some reason now I'm able to offer part-time contracts. So for players like Precious Johnson and players like that, I've already went through and offered them a new deal that's essentially their appearance fee in wage and a little bit more, and then a little bit of appearance fee. So we are going to be paying them a little bit more, but we are going to have the security that they aren't on non-contracts or on proper contracts. So yeah, we're going to go progress. We'll be back for the first home game of the season, and hopefully by then we might even have a signing or two to show you. So we are back for the second game, our first home game of the season. No signings to speak of, unfortunately. No one wants to join us because we are rubbish. Nevertheless, we've got our team back. Berman's back from international duties, so he comes back in. Tornberg goes back in at centre-half. I was thinking of keeping Hilmarson in, but he did okay, but we did concede 2 goals late on, so hopefully that's not going to be a running theme. Everyone's a little bit more match fit. People are getting used to the system, so hopefully it can produce a little bit of a better result today. But our first home game, back in front of the fans and in front of our home fans, and hopefully we can get 3 points and just give ourselves that little bit of gap. At the very least, hopefully we can get a draw. I didn't look to see how good this team were, so we're just going to kind of go out and do our thing. I don't really know what to say to the boys. It doesn't seem like anything would really cheer them up at the minute. But we're only 1 game in, 1 loss. It was, pretty close, to be fair. We weren't miles away. Hopefully we can see players like Shaq have a better game. Hopefully Worrell, Hansen can get themselves in with a bit of a better game as well. Didn't see the goalkeeper cover himself in too much grace in that game either. The other thing is that the goalkeeper that we had last season wasn't really that great either, so it doesn't concern me. But if he continues to be poor, we can always just go back to the one we used last season and give him a go as well. That is a decent save. I was a little bit worried that was going to go in. If that went in, he was definitely getting dropped next game because it wasn't really hit that hard. But his distribution was kind of what caused the chance in the first place. So I'm a little bit worried about the goalkeeper. I'm just worried about us in general. I think it might be a bit of a tough season, bit of a long season. There's every chance we do have to swap away from the attacking tactic. Maybe we should be playing that away tactic when we do play away games. I do want to be an attacking side, though. It's worked for me in the past. I don't know why we're hitting it long so much. I don't remember asking that. And I'm pretty sure that's not in our game plan to hit it long, especially not in those positions when we've got so many options. But a ball in the box, not dealt with. Thankfully, we got a block in, though. That would have definitely been 1-0 had it not been blocked. But it's still a chance, and Kjartansson does enough to tip it wide. I think it actually took a deflection anyway. But we're definitely up against it. I guess we can see just in the league table how these got on. Did they win their opening game? They didn't. They drew their opening game. So hopefully we can get a point here at least to take us out of, hopefully take us out of the bottom 4. At the minute, we're not in the bottom 3, which is ultimately the goal. The board really aren't actually that bothered on us getting relegated or not. It's just an attempt to avoid relegation. So even if we did, they wouldn't sack me. But obviously, I don't want to be going back to the 4th division. Worrell down the right-hand side. I mean, that's a penalty or a free kick at least. Precious Johnson just whacked off the ball. Not really sure what happened. And then the goalkeeper's put it out, I think because he thought Precious Johnson was injured. But he isn't. He's fine. Not really sure what happened. The worrying thing is we actually had a good goal to open the game. Chambo played a lovely ball in behind to Precious Johnson. And we've not really seen anything else from the attackers since. It's been all just defensive highlights from us. So I want to see us going forward a little bit more. We are, like I say, on an attacking system. We've got our proper centre mid back in as well. I think obviously we were maybe hamstrung slightly by having a centre back in midfield last game, but so far it's not really made too much of a difference. Shaq does well to get it cleared. Hansen can take it down, and he plays a lovely ball over to Chambo. He's got nothing but other players in front of him, so he's going to have to go himself, and he does go himself. It wasn't a bad run, but he really should have made a better effort of that, unfortunately. Chambo not looking like an unbelievable player so far. I don't think any of the signings are, but not a terrible first half. Definitely not being the better side, but thankfully we are still level. So hopefully we can get ourselves again, playing a little bit better next game. Obviously, I think each game we will improve. I'd like to hope. The worrying thing was normally I would come into the season having won a fair few pre-season games as well, so the dynamics will be quite good. But obviously, I'm trying not to game the system in this save, so I'll let the assistants just do the friendlies, which sometimes they put you against good teams to get more money in, but that obviously means you lose, which doesn't help the dynamics. But we're trying not to do that, and that is a very, very good save again from Kjartansson. He did very well there to track it and to just use his feet. He's actually been the best player, so clearly don't need to worry about him too much. I think he's good enough for where we are at the minute. We are still trying to bring players in. I think the other thing is as well is that a fair few of them I am going to keep on non-contracts. A few of them have tied down, which I can cover at the end of this game, which ones we've actually tied down to part-time deals so far. But that's too easy, and we get away with it a little bit there. We are on very thin ice at the minute. I think we need another right back because Shaq has had two very, very poor games and he is starting to concern me. Berman looks very, very tired, so what we're going to do is put Thornberg back in at midfield, unfortunately, and bring Hilmarsson in, which probably doesn't help us. Stengard is going to come on. Actually, Rosberg's going to come on in the... No, he's not. Rosberg is going to come on for Shambo. We're going to bring Stengard on for Worrell. Worrell really not impressing me. He's meant to be the best player in the team, but I've not seen really anything from him. He got injured last season. He played up front, which was probably not his position, to be fair. He probably is a winger, but so far as a winger, he's not really done anything. But Damsgaard into Rosberg, who tries to slide it across to Thornberg. It's poor from the youngster. He's got to do a smarter move there. We're managing to defend okay. And once again, we get away with it. A player wasn't tracking whoever it was, I'm not sure. Might have been Abiyomi, not tracking his man. The header, didn't even get anywhere close to a header, and it went over. At the minute, though, still not seeing too much from us. We're going to make another sub. I'm going to bring Aberg on the right. Stengard can go over onto the left. Need to try and find players who can just do a bit of creativity, because we are, for an attacking side, creating so little in this game. At the minute, it's still 0-0, but I've got every feeling they're going to score one of these chances. If we do get away with a point here, I will be quite happy, because we've definitely not been the better side. I think it was a lot more even in the first game, but this game, not being ideal. Shaq needs to improve pretty quickly, otherwise we are desperately going to need to try and find another right back, because he has looked massively like the weak point in these two games so far. Precious Johnson did score on the opener, so I'm not going to criticise his bad game today, but he's also not had a very good game today. But a point at home is okay. It does actually take us out of the bottom four, which is good. A point from two, not great. We were really better. We were better in the first game, to be honest, which we lost. But very lucky to draw that game, I think. But it is what it is. We can't complain about it. In terms of the players we have signed onto proper contracts, so if we look through, so the keeper, Thornberg's got a contract, Damsgaard, Berman was already on a deal, Worrell was already on a deal, Precious Johnson, highest earner, Chambo we got on a deal, Rosberg was already on a deal. I think that's the majority of players. I think Hansen didn't want to sign a part-time contract, and the rest I'm not convinced on keeping anyway, so I'm happy to let them go if someone come in for them, as long as we could get a sign. And so we won't go too far ahead, because obviously it is still early days. They've not even played a game, actually, so they're in the bottom four without playing. Slightly worrying. They were actually meant to be finished... I'm sure this... Oh, you can't see because of my big edge. I'm sure these were meant to finish... predicted to finish top, and they've lost their first two games. Not very good from them, so maybe the media prediction isn't all that accurate. So we'll play a couple games off camera. I think we'll come back for... Like I say, we won't go too far ahead. Let's do... You know what? Let's just do these three games. Did we play these last season? Gefla IF. I feel like we played them last season. I don't want to do the same away day. I feel like we probably didn't do an away day with them. Did we? Were they with us last season? No, they were definitely in this season. Okay, so we'll just play the three games off camera. We won't go too far ahead. So I'm going to play these three off camera, and then we'll come back for Stockholm and Gefla. So that'll be next episode of the European Journeyman, of the Euro Journeyman. And we'll definitely do an away game next episode as well. So hopefully by the time you come back, we may have actually won a game. If not, we're going to be right up against it, and it is going to be one of them seasons where we're just fighting relegation, trying to stay up. And it's not easy. There's actually quite a lot of relegation spots for a 16-team league. But anyway, that's going to do it for now. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Euro Journeyman, and I'll see you all for more very soon.